Hi everyone, hi Luigi, welcome back. We've got the news machine, Luigi, has broken down completely, I think. And we've just got news coming out every millisecond of proportions. I mean, does anyone even remember that Trump nearly got assassinated a week ago? I don't know, Luigi, because
Yes.
Biden has dropped out and he endorsed Kamala motherfucking Harris. Sorry, I went.
Yeah, so the news cycle, hello, George, first of all, the news cycle waits for no man or woman or
Or
gender
child,
binary,
or
child,
yeah.
alien, non-human, whatever. The news cycle is moving and it's moving very quickly. We had an assassination attempt on one of the two major presidential candidates, and then the other one dropped out in the space of a week.
In the space of a week, yeah. And as the great Lenin said, you know the rest. But as the great Lenin said, he was right. When you're right, you're right. So Biden, he heeded our words, Luigi, and dropped out. I mean, basically, he was muscled out by literally everybody apart from Bernie. Everybody
Yeah.
else
Yeah.
participated. By the way, I mean, 50-50. That's what I was thinking before. But it seems that Biden got the message at this point, pulled
It took a
out.
lot.
It took
It
a
took
lot.
quite a lot to get him there. Like the entire Democratic Party apparatus had to push him out, kicking and screaming.
And he endorsed Kamala. I was surprised, Luigi, by how quickly everybody fell behind Kamala. I think the only body who hasn't endorsed her by now is Bernie.
Yeah.
And by the way, Obama and Nancy are not gonna endorse Kamala because they've already made the whole thing happen. They don't want to seem that much behind the whole operation, even though they are. You get what I mean,
Yeah.
Luigi?
Yeah, you know what the problem, like the Democratic Party has a democracy problem, right? Because they tried to shove Biden down the nation's throat and they were like hiding him from the public eye. He
For
wasn't
at
doing
least
interviews.
for
Mhm.
at least 2 years. For at least 2 years now.
But especially this year during a presidential campaign, like they canceled the entire primaries. There were no debates. There was no serious opposition to Biden. They really tried to anoint him as a candidate instead of letting the democratic process work. And this is where you end up with. You end up with that guy dropping out, and then they're trying to do the exact same shit with Kamala. It's not like let's have a convention, let's fight this out, quote unquote, in political terms, and let the best candidate win. No, it's let's anoint Kamala as the new Democratic Party nominee before we get to the convention. And guess what? It's not going to work this time either. She's a deeply unpopular candidate. I want to get your thoughts on this, actually, George. What are the
I
chances
want to
that
say
Kamala?
before the
Mhm.
second part, what you said, 100%. If the Democrats had done the right thing, we would have had this discussion a year ago because they would have done debates and Biden would have shut his pants in those debates, and a much better candidate than Kamala could have emerged from that process, who would be now facing off against Trump. But because
Precisely.
they
The
hit the
sto-
whole thing. Yeah, they hit the whole thing. They did not do any debates. And Trump didn't do any debates either. But the Democrats didn't do any debates. We came to hear everything unraveled after the first debate. And thank God they had the first debate this early. And
Mhm.
now they can even use the argument that there is simply no fucking time left. We have to get behind Kamala because everything is going. I mean, there's a convention in half a month, and then you've got the election in November. So
Yeah.
they fucked the whole thing. What Luigi was saying, I mean, I've gone over it the last episode, and we've spoken about this. Kamala is the least unpopular Democratic candidate after Biden. So
So wait. The least unpopular is a double negative. She's the least popular.
yeah, she's the most. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
Yes, she's
She's
the
the
most
most
unpopular. Yeah.
after Biden. So everyone else fares better than Kamala. So I mean, in the end of it, and I've got the number,
Yeah,
Luigi. The,
you're
the
you're
great
replacing.
the great Cornagi, Luigi. The great Cornagi. That's the difference you've done.
Yeah, bingo. Exactly that. You're replacing a very weak candidate with another very weak candidate. Now, here's the good news, I think. As you said, it's still quite early. Believe it or not, we still have another 4 months until the election, which means what? It means that Kamala can also shit the bed and we still have time to get a third candidate. That's my base case scenario for the following reason, right? Kamala Harris, we're not just shitting on her, right? We're shitting on her for a reason. She was never popular. Like the only reason she landed as the nation's vice president is because Biden was looking for someone as his running mate that ticked some boxes, a woman of color, that kind of thing. If you go by her opinion polls when she was running for president in 2020, she's extremely unpopular. If you go by her polling since she's been vice president, she's been the least popular vice president since we started doing opinion polling.
Oh yeah, have a look, Luigi. I mean, over here you've got the favorables. Trump still polls more favorably than Kamala,
Mhm.
but slightly more unfavorably. But you see, it's so marginal. I think the
And
argument, yeah, Luigi,
it's
go
it's
on.
it's extremely important. The following fact: a vice president usually has good ratings, right? Because you are out of the public spotlight. If you are doing some like media appearances, they're very scripted, they're very organized. You don't need to do a lot to be a popular vice president. The fact that you are trying to run the least popular vice president, I think she's gonna shit the bed in the following sense. Nobody cared about Kamala a couple of months ago. Suddenly everybody cares, so suddenly she has to be in the public spotlight, and that's where her lack of charisma comes in. She's not a good orator. She comes off as being fake, and I think that's going to, like, the public is going to understand that very quickly once the spotlight is on her. So here's the other point we have to make. There's nobody that really wants to run at this point, right? Because any Democrat, if you go by opinion polls, every Democrat is losing to Donald Trump, with the exception maybe being Michelle Obama, which, as we've covered, probably will not run anyway. So if you are a Democrat, you probably want to run in 2028. You don't want to have a failed attempt at running in 2024. So do you think anyone is going to challenge Kamala from within the party?
No, not a single one. Not a single, not even Joe Manchin. He ruled it out as well.
I think Joe Manchin recently left the Democratic Party and became an independent,
Yeah, you're
if
absolutely right.
memory serves.
He said he was gonna rejoin and then fucking compete against Kamala, and then in about an hour or so, he ruled it out. No one is gonna
Yeah,
contest
so no one wants this,
Kamala.
basically. Kamala
Yeah.
is going to be brought in as the sacrificial lamb. And
You think what you said, Luigi, that she's unpopular? Of course, she's unpopular. I mean, you've got the numbers over there, but I don't think in this. I don't think that there's more than a 5% chance that she will get replaced. I mean, at where she will lead the Democratic Party
to
into a
loss,
loss. Yeah,
into
into a
a
loss.
catastrophic loss.
I mean, they're close, Luigi. I mean, as close as Biden was, pretty much. A little bit better. I mean, maybe a percentage point closer.
Yeah, I mean, she can still get a boost in
It's a,
opinion polls, right?
oh, of course, and yeah. And I mean, we've got the New York Times just published a poll. I mean, it's what
Mhm.
we said, and they made the same caveat that, she will have every opportunity to reintroduce herself to the nation, distinguish herself from Mr. Biden, rally Democratic voters. Similarly, her opposition will have every opportunity to criticize her handling of the border or whatever. In
Yeah.
the end, her standing could easily change for the better or the worse because she just
Oh,
became the presidential candidate. I
wow.
mean,
Deep analysis.
deep
Deep analysis
analysis.
by their times. It can go both ways, folks.
It can go both ways. I mean, important to note that she's raised $50 million in small
The first few
donor.
hours.
Yeah, I mean, this day it's been about a day that she's
Yeah.
raised in small dollar donations. 50 million. I mean, that's more than Elon did. So it's a pretty good haul, isn't it?
It's an okay amount, but like,
It
look,
shows that the Democratic base, can I call it excited about this? Certainly more excited than Biden. This is
okay.
actually the Democratic base getting fired up because they got the dying guy out of the race. That does not
Look,
mean that the election is going to change because they donated a lot of money in a day because they're relieved that they're not absolutely 100% going to lose the election. It's just a little bit of hope from the Democrats.
we made it, Jack.
You wanna watch the great Kamala? This is one of her most important quotes, Luigi.
Mhm.
Everything is in context. My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
Wow.
How this woman ever got elected senator in California, a state of 60 million people. That's the best you came up with, California.
You exist in the context of all that came before you, Luigi. I think it's beautiful. I think in the next debate, if she comes up against Trump and tells him, "What do you think you fell out of a fucking coconut
You
tree?"
fell out of a coconut tree.
I think she's got the election in the bag if she comes
Like,
up with that.
let's talk about what the markets think about all of this. I'm looking at the betting markets right now. Kamala is getting an 85% probability to be the nominee, and in
Oh, yeah.
second, which is fair, as you said. In second place, it's drum roll Michelle Obama,
Honestly,
8%
man.
above Hillary Clinton at
Oh, that's
6%.
not. I mean, if you go with Hillary, you've pretty much buried the whole
Well,
thing.
I agree, but like Gavin Newsom, which is actually the most realistic person maybe to replace her, is at 3%.
Yeah,
So
but
investors are
he
Mhm.
already endorsed Kamala, though, Gavin.
It's true. It's true.
So I think that's what they're banking on. There's no dreamers, Luigi. They're
You know,
dreamers.
you know what I find really striking? Saint Bernard Sanders is not even on this list.
That such is the humiliation we will endure.
I really want to have this like, what if Biden was Biden? Oh my God, sorry, I'm getting a little bit old and senile. What if Bernie was running for a third time? And he's like, Kamala cannot lead the Democratic Party to victory. Biden is too forgetful. Everyone else is a pussy. I will be leading the Democrats for that time.
I
How was
think,
the
I
party?
mean, if he was 5 years younger, definitely.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, time catches up with all of us, and he's
Yeah.
too old, people.
He's too old. The issue is not really that Bernie is too old. Bernie is still lucid and he's a very gifted speaker. Like he's still got all of that. He can even campaign, I would argue. What he can do is like you just replaced one president for being too old. If you bring in an older guy, even if the older guy is in much better shape mentally
Yeah,
speaking,
yeah.
it still looks really bad. So
You can't sell it, yeah. Kamala is
yeah.
about to make a speech. I don't think it's gonna be anything too exciting, people. I've got some other information, Luigi. On Sunday, before Joe Biden made his earth-shaking decision known, he called Kamala and I mean gave her a heads up. And she immediately began, she spent more than 10 hours calling party leaders so she could pull off this avalanche of endorsements that have happened ever since Biden declared he's going to pull out. And as is our custom, Luigi, we're going to go through what
Wow.
she ate during this time,
Wow.
her dietary habits, as she was calling all those people. They paused
So
only briefly for lunch, salad and sandwiches, and dinner. I wanted your take on this. She had pizza, and hers were topped with anchovies. What do you
wow.
think?
Could be worse.
Could
It
we?
could be worse. It could be pineapple.
I +1 for Kamala. I think this is a very, very
Anchovies pizza, dude. Like, what are we?
anchovies.
The Teenage Mutant
Anchovies.
Ninja Turtles? Like, what are we doing here?
What you fall out of a coconut tree, Luigi? I think it's quite a choice. I think a leader's choice.
Look, I mean, if instead of salad and sandwiches, it was burger sandwiches and pizza, I would say that's like the pinnacle of the American diet. But what are you doing with salads, Kamala?
She
We
ha-
have to look, yeah,
healthy. You have to
yeah.
promote
We have to look
healthiness.
good. We have
You
to
have to
look
look
good.
good.
Let's talk about Biden a little bit.
Yeah, of
It's pretty funny.
course.
So he finally did the correct thing. It took him a
Yes,
while.
a long
Finally saw
while.
the light. And here's what I will say: this guy has a habit of pulling out, right? Pulled out of Afghanistan. He's pulling out of the race. Like,
Loser.
yeah. So I've got an actual joke. So the nickname that Joe Biden has, Dark Brandon. What do you call a dark Brandon that drops out of the race?
What?
Abandoned.
Wow, wow. I thought I was commendable that he fucking dropped out after all this. Took him too long, but thankfully he dropped out. And I mean, he endorsed Kamala. This is his letter. He's promised us that he's going to tell us later this week more detail about his decision. We don't care anymore. We're just glad he dropped out.
What decision? What decision, George?
I hope he doesn't forget 100%. Obama called him the highest patriot, Luigi, that has ever lived.
I mean, Obama wrote a bunch of shit in in his like departure essay. He basically called him the greatest president in. I can't
Ever.
remember what it was. Yeah, it wasn't ever, but it was like a long time. And you're like, did you think so? Okay. It's like it's a Roosevelt and then it's Biden. Cool. All right.
We'll take it. Everybody, yeah, all of Kamala's opponents or whatever, theoretical opponents, people that they
Not
were
friends.
polling, not frenemies, we call them frenemies. Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, Shapiro, J.B. Pritzker, Andrew Bashir, literally fucking everyone has endorsed here. So as Luigi said, they're not going to take part in this. They're going to allow Kamala to have a run at it. She's got a clear path to being the nominee of the Democratic Party. She will be the nominee of the Democratic Party.
You know what? Now that I'm like playing it out in my head,
Yeah.
this might be all for the better in the following sense. No matter who the Democrats run at this point, they're probably gonna lose.
Yeah, probably.
You need I mean, you need a Jesus Christ type of figure to win this election. I mean, maybe the Hawk Tua girl can unite the country, but yeah.
Wow.
She did, right? That's the most popular woman in the country right now.
I would unite behind her 100%.
For
Luigi.
sure. Hawk Tua girl for president. But
After Michelle, though. But she doesn't wanna.
It's Jesus Christ, Michelle Obama, Hawk Tua girl. In that order, in terms of popularity, I think.
Jesus Christ, Michelle Obama, coconut tree, Hawk to a girl.
Nice. Here's the point. It's better that Kamala is going to lose in a landslide now than Kamala being forced down our throats once again in 2028. So if Kamala loses badly enough this time, maybe, just maybe, the Democrats are going to go back to democracy and allow an actual primary process, debates, and all of that good stuff in 2028. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise, us getting Kamala at this point.
I mean, it's a very dark interpretation. I'm glad you found the silver lining in there. But I mean, what you said, the reverse of it is, we win the election, the Democrats win the elections with Kamala. It's going to be an extremely close election. She's probably going to win it if she wins it by 11 votes or something. There's probably going to be civil war because the other guy will 100% not accept that he lost the election. But say she manages to get in there. Do you think there's going to be a fucking debate next time? It's going to be
No.
Kamala 100%.
Trump has to be assassinated or lightning has to strike for
Whoa! We do not endorse the political assassinations of any elected representatives.
Is that our new risk warning? Obviously, this is not the. Yeah, what I'm saying is that almost happened a week ago, right? So you have to discuss that possibility suddenly.
You think it's that unlikely? I don't think it's that unlikely, but as you said, he's ahead in all swing states, in most polls in them.
Kamala comes off as being a fake politician. It's always been her drawback and her main like Achilles' heel. And when you go against someone that seems to be like as unique and as outspoken and I speak my mind every
But he does,
kind of guy.
sorry, he does speak his mind. It's just a filthy fucking mind. But I'm gonna give him that. Yeah, he speaks his mind.
I mean, Trump comes off as being authentic at the very least. And Kamala
100%.
comes off as being rehearsed and fake. And in a debate, I think that's really gonna show. Like, her age is not gonna be the silver bullet that the Democrats think it's gonna be.
No. I hope the Democrats. I think the Democrats really are banking more on her strength in regards to abortion. She will be able to sell that far better than Biden. You remember what fucking Biden did last time?
What abortion? We beat abortions, George.
Well, what about the illegal immigrants? They killed someone. I was like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck?
You know what though? Kamala Harris actually has a record while she was like a
Oh, yeah.
prosecutor in California,
She
and
was
her record.
sorry, Luigi. She was district attorney, then she was California senator, then she became VP.
She has a horrible record in California, which, if I recall correctly, Tulsi Gabbard exposed during the Democratic debates in 2020. You can bet your sweet bottom that Trump is gonna find every single detail and bring it up in the next debate.
But
So, yeah.
in the other way, though, Trump is going to argue that she was too lenient. I doubt Trump is going to argue that, Trump is going to find the other way around the argument, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of critiques of Kamala from a leftist perspective of her record, which are useless to Trump. By the way, Trump is pissed. I mean, we gotta be honest. Trump is fucking pissed at this. He wanted Biden. His rally yesterday, I was watching it. Yeah, I know, sad. But he was almost begging, dude. Almost begging the Democrats not to get rid of Biden. I mean, who wouldn't?
We need to get you a new hobby. If you are watching Trump rallies.
Who wouldn't, though? Who wouldn't, right? Who wouldn't want to run against Biden? So, I mean,
sure, yeah.
So what do you think? Because he's going to have to redirect his whole strategy now, because he was all about how Biden can't get off the stage and how he's fucking low IQ and senile. And these are literally his words.
You know, Trump, he's going to flip on a penny and suddenly it's going to be like a totally different thing. Like Kamala being a communist sympathizer that single-handedly destroyed California. I mean,
through ushering an era of communism.
There's drugs and homeless people everywhere, George.
Everywhere, just humping the Communist Manifesto. It's a fucking mess. I don't know how. I mean, he asked the crowd in that fucking rally, and the crowd, by the way, literally, he asked the crowd, "Who do you want me to face off against? Who do you prefer, Kamala or Joe?" And the crowd was emphatic that they wanted Joe. Nobody knows Kamala's, and they know her name, but they know pretty much nothing else about her. Yeah. Very few stuff. So it's very interesting, isn't it, this change? I think it's a good thing that they did it, even though obviously they should have done it a long time ago, because at the very least it catches Trump on the back foot. He's not even part of the news cycle. That must feel horrific for a guy like Trump.
It's true. I mean, it's the worst thing you can do to Trump.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you exercise him, 100%.
Yeah. Deny him the attention he needs.
What the fuck? I'm not even in the headlines.
They shot me in the ear and everybody forgot about it.
Oof, that's gonna hurt a lot. But it's still the polls, for fuck's sake, the polls give us nothing, Luigi. Somebody gets his ear blown off, nothing. Somebody quits, nothing. It's
it's too soon. I mean, you can't expect opinion polls to swing in like 3 or 5 or 7 days. It doesn't work like that.
And then, by the way, we don't even have that many swing state polls. That they haven't even been conducting that many of them.
Yeah.
So there's not much to glean from.
At the very least, I mean, it can be worse than Biden, right?
Oh, yeah.
Literally cannot be worse.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. For certain, good said. You can take it as a win. I mean, in the end, is she gonna win in November? Look, you can be.
No.
I mean, I doubt it as well, Luigi. But you can be optimistic about it. Nobody knows these things.
The betting markets are saying it's a 70-30 in favor of Trump.
Is that what the betting markets are saying today?
I think it's closer to 85-15 or maybe 90-10 to Trump, man.
You think so?
I think everybody, actually, the betting markets are 60% Trump, 40% Kamala, which I think is insane. I think nobody's appreciating how bad Kamala is in front of a camera.
I think they're right, Luigi. I would put it at 60-40, Kamala and Trump.
We need to let the dust settle for a little bit, study the opinion polls, but I think that's too optimistic. In fact, I would certainly take the other side of that bet. In any case, I think we've covered the broad
Do we have
brushes,
anything?
George.
Yeah, definitely. Do we have anything else? No, nothing else. A nice picture. Biden out.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they're showing, dude, because Biden is actually in the picture. What the fuck is this? I don't even know. Who made this?
It's like a bad sort of Black Mirror cover art. episode.
Let's get rid of it. This is better. Monies and Kamala.
Nice.
She's got the monies, people. She's got the money. She's got 96 million in the fucking war chest.
Nice. On that positive note, George, thank you very much. We're gonna keep are we still doing air jokes?
I think no. I think not
Okay,
anymore,
okay.
Luigi.
It's out of fashion. Okay.
Unless he doesn't get his bandage off. We'll see. We'll see when he next appears. By the way, Kamala has just begun her speech. We hope it's a great one, Mamala. We hope. Because Luigi really doubts your fucking skills, your oratory skills. I think they're pretty shabby as well, I'm gonna be honest.
I give her about a month to implode under the public spotlight, or for people to realize that they don't like her, and that's just gonna be on time for the Democratic Convention.
Oof.
So fireworks ahead.
Wow. We'll see. But I mean, the way the news have been changing and turning, wow, nothing can be ruled out, 100%.
True.
So,
It's
yeah.
true. Call it a day. To everyone, thank you to all of the viewers. Like, subscribe, support the podcast. You know you want to. And we'll see you next week.
You know it, folks. See you guys. Bye-bye.